For the love of God, I was so excited. I forgot to take off the mic, the mute. We're in the house together. Chris and I are together. And Kathy will be here any minute as everyone's saying hello. Brian, I know you're only trying to help, but you're doing my job, Brian. I wanted to open with that. And you're taking away all of my thunder because they didn't say it, right? We talked about that, which I thought was odd. They introduced a new character and they never say his name ever. So the whole time they're with him, they don't ask him his name ever. What are they going to call him? Bandit? So his name in the credits, and he shows up for this episode. They kept that hidden too, let me tell you. He shows up for some other episodes, so that's making me think that his storyline will continue. But the bandit's name, as we were told by Brian, his name is Harry Henning, Henning. And he says he's from Eagle Creek on the other side of Rock Creek. Do you remember Eagle Creek?
I've never heard of Eagle Creek.
Yes, it's like something new, right? How's Axel, Chris?
Oh, he's sleeping.
They're saying hi. We're saying hello. All right, so let's go back and put some things up. So I wanted to start off. First of all, we're going to I'll talk, you talk, and I'm going to share one of my favorite parts was getting to meet the bandit. So I'm going to talk about Harry and that whole scene, and then Chris, you can talk because I'll allow you.
Thank you.
I wanted to put this up. That's what Arlene was asking. Did anyone catch the name of the young thief? He's cute, and I loved how he was with Scout feeding him his meatloaf dinner. I know. And I love when you take someone who's supposed to be bad and you show his endearing qualities by either making him like a gentle farmer with flowers, I've seen that done, or with animals. So you know that he's got a goodness to his soul. And the actor hasn't been on much. He was on Riverdale. He had blonde hair on Riverdale, so he kind of looked a little different. And the actor's name is Brendan McRae. So maybe Brendan McRae could visit on the set with us. What do you think? I'll ask.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yes, I know.
I think he's cute.
He's so cute. And for being poor, though, his clothes looked a little nice. His clothes, I mean, not that you have to look scraggly, but I don't know. He had nice.
He looked put together.
He did, and he cutie patootie. Oh! Here she is. Hey. Oh, we got to do it this way. Here we go. Hi. We are talking about the character that I loved, and they never gave him his name. What's your shirt say?
Hubley.
Okay. I thought it said Harry because that's his name.
The young fella, the new Jesse 2.0.
I know. We had to go look him up. We had to go look him up in my database. Brian looked him up too.
I think he is one cutie patootie.
Yes, that's what
we're just saying. Yeah.
And it appears that he can act. So that's like win-win.
Harry Henning, and he loves the dog, and the dog loves him. And he's got younger sisters. He said, I hope all of it's true. I hope it's not a lie. Because remember, Nathan's like, he's all tough and everything. But then
Nathan was suspicious of everybody when
he was. I know, but I think it's like it's his act. Remember, he even made him when he was going to get the job, he made Flo and her hubby Ned be like real tough,
stern,
stern, and then
he's just trying to get him on the right path, I think.
But he doesn't have a name. Why did they say his name?
Was never said on there.
Oh, I bet they'll say it.
I know, but they didn't say it then. I thought that was odd. He
didn't even introduce himself to Faith and Nathan even.
Yeah, and they didn't ask him his name. But anyway, I think maybe it got cut out or something. But I am looking forward to seeing what his storyline's about. And we had to know that it was going to happen because there was those little clues where bandit. So they kept talking about bandits all the time.
Well, I think we know what his storyline is going to be. They're redoing Jesse.
Really?
You think?
That's how Jesse showed up. He was a young thug, and he with a heart of gold, and there's a reason for everything he's doing. So he's going to work at the Mercantile, and I'm sure they're going to end up hiring him, and all is going to be well. and he's just going to become what do you call it? Uh, Nathan's going to take him under his wing.
Okay.
I'm that's what I'm thinking, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. I didn't even think about the Nathan part.
Yep.
I'm highlighting different things of what people are saying. Let's see. This is interesting. Julie, are you saying, remember the women with the young children that came and they got books from Elizabeth last season?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that that's the family? I'm wondering, is that what you're saying, Julie? I'm wondering if he is related to the school family, older brother we saw towards the end of season 9. Yes, the lady had 2 daughters, and he said he had 2 sisters, or he had sisters.
Well, when they were shown on the at first
Mm-hmm.
when they were talking to him before, there were some older boys that were in the background on and they never really said anything about them, or they didn't talk or anything, just the girls did
When they were coming into town. And
Yeah,
maybe, okay.
yeah.
Maybe they set that up and we totally like missed it. Okay. Oh, look at this. Christine says, I was wondering if he and Allie will become the new Jesse and Clara. Oh
No.
my God. Wait a minute. But that would be
Allie's too young.
I know.
She's too young for him.
Yes. Yes. But that's funny. Like
thought.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
By the time Clara met Jesse, she had been widowed,
Yes.
I don't think now I'm not gonna say Allie won't have a crush on him.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
That
yeah.
could happen easily, but I would be very shocked if they try to pair them up, at least now, maybe in a few seasons.
Everyone's asking for you, hoping that you were back when they didn't see you right away. So I guess they didn't like me being solo.
Oh, gee. Well, I appreciate it.
I'm making up for it. I got extra here today.
Janice had, she's got another comment about whether or not he may be headed toward being a Mountie, and I would not be surprised. I really do think that Nathan is going to end up being his mentor.
That's cool.
That would be
Unlike, who was it? Was it Robert who thought he wanted to be a Mountie, and he's like, not so much. But
he's a better mailman.
Yeah.
Good storyline. I didn't even think of that. That's good. Jan also said, I felt that from the beginning that he was stealing because he was looking for something for his family. I did too. I thought it was like hungry or for food. And apparently so did Faith. She thought, she never felt like she was, a threat or was being threatened rather.
Here's something that I wonder if it occurred to anybody.
That
new guy is related to Jack's mom, because did you notice the only thing he stole was lard?
That's right. And she put lard in all her shepherd's pie and everything. Oh gosh. We were watching it. Christina was with us too. We watched it together last night, and she said, maybe because I said, why would you steal lard? I know it's for cooking, but why don't you do a can of peaches or something like that? And she said that a lot of times, even back then, they would use the lard to help with like birthing like an animal on the farm or something, and whatever else. So maybe we'll find out more, because lard's an odd thing to take.
And 2 containers of it.
2 containers of it, yeah. So there may be a story with that.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Deb said I can hear Deb's voice when she said this. He arrested someone and he didn't even ask him his name. And he wasn't really arrested. He brought him in for questioning.
Kind of detained.
Yeah, which Emily's bringing up. But still, I feel like they must have asked his name. He did. That would be natural. But it got cut and they didn't realize.
Like cutting room
and they didn't realize it. But I don't know. I thought it was weird. And then you said something. So we went back to listen. I had to go look it up. Yeah. Jan's saying, Kathy, you think he may be heading toward being a Mountie? That's what she was asking you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do think so.
And Julie, hi, Julie. Julie's on fire tonight with her questions. If he is the son or brother of that family, then it might bring the book wagon storyline, rural homeschool families, back into play. Could be. I can see where that might happen along the way, because we've got Faith going out doing all of that and doing her little errands and stuff. Not errands, her rounds. Maybe. All right, let's see. Mary was her name. And one of the sisters is Brinley. Okay. Thank you, Arlene. All right. And Jan saying, no, Ro, that's not it at all. I don't know which one. What did I say? I don't know. He'd be a good match for Anna.
Anna isn't there right now.
I know. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Emily. Oh my God. Every time lately, I think Emily says what I'm thinking. I was just about to say this. Let's not pair up the children. Why do we have to keep pairing up children? Or like, let's let them be children and let's forget about all that. I don't want to become a soap opera.
Let them grow up.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, and they're saying how and what say? Well, he is lucky he was stealing from Hope Valley. Not everyone would have been kind and given him a second chance, like Nathan and the Yost. That's true. He should learn actions have consequences, which I think is
Just learn.
Yeah, which I love because that's what it's supposed to be like and all about. And
that's what he's doing too.
Yes, yep. And I like it. I like it because isn't that like I was just complaining the other day. I want to see that again, and here it is. Took episode 4 for it to come in. All right. Do we want to talk anything else about this? Anybody out there want to see anything? Or Chris?
Oh, I think we've covered him pretty good.
Before we go, someone was saying, there's a couple of things that it says, isn't lard used for making candles? Is it?
I don't think so.
Okay. And
there was something else. So what was it that they were making? Who was it that made all those candles in what episode 1 or 2?
Oh, yes.
Or season 1 or 2?
Yes. Actually, it was the little girl's still here, but the mother and all of them are no longer here.
Emily.
Is it used for like wounds or something?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question.
Because that made me think of it with this question. He was interested in Faith being a doctor, so maybe somebody was sick or ill, and that's why he had the lard, and maybe now he wants to find out if Faith can help whoever it is.
I could Google it.
Yeah, we could. Brian, what's Brian saying? They really need to release a director's cut DVD with all these trimmed and deleted scenes restored. I know. You know what? Elliot is like very receptive and wonderful man. I don't want everybody flooding his calling him up because he does respond to you, but you could email him and that could be something he could look at because he's the one, Elliot from Edify Films, he's the one that's in charge of making like bloopers and stuff like that. And maybe if he knew exactly what we would love to see, he's the one that has all those scenes and he could make up something like that. He could even go back as far as we would buy it. We'd be like, oh my God, that's what happened in season 2 and 6 and 7, as long as it doesn't start any worse. Avis, did anyone notice the wagon Elizabeth and Luke looked at for the book wagon was sitting in front of the saloon in episode 3? Oh,
I'm not sure I noticed that.
Yeah, well, that's something we'll have to go back and look. Yep, Emily, he did learn. They're saying hi, Kathy. Hope you like your Wen calls the heart cookies. Hi, Lynn.
You bet, Lynn. Thank you.
Yes. And we're going to post it. We just haven't had time yet. I'm going to post it all of social media. I got to see them. They look like little pieces of art. Yeah. They were waiting.
Photos.
They were waiting for you when you came home. Okay, so go ahead. What were you going to say? You found up some stuff. What'd you find?
Lard is very similar to cellular makeup and pH of our own skin, making it very gentle and readily absorbed, locking in moisture. Great for all skin types. It helps to heal wounds, burns, and abrasions, along with reducing inflammation and sprains and muscle aches.
I'm wondering if his father is ill.
Or he might have had some kind of farm accident.
Okay, so it's going to be a bigger story. Okay, that's all right.
I wasn't even aware of that.
People are saying different things. I believe back then your lard was used for everything from cooking and baking, and then apparently what you just said there. Cool. All right, and then Viola is saying that she agrees about those deleted scenes. Well, Hearties, you get on a mission and you start asking, Elliot for that, and he can get onto it. And Brian, you're very good with words. You should send him an email. Contact him. All right. Okay, so now let's talk about do you want to talk about, Chris? What's our next topic? Or Kathy?
Let's give Kathy a
What
chance.
did you guys think about the whole Rosemary gives birth?
Let's talk about that. It's a big deal. All right, come on. I want to see what you have to say, Kathy.
I thought there would be more focus on it.
Or focus. What do you mean? Explain focus. What do you mean?
It was, she went into labor and she was in the middle of the street and absolutely no one except, who was it? Her husband, Lee, was with her. And I'm not sure there was another person with her, but everybody was just kind of standing around gaping. It just didn't look realistic that there's a woman in labor and down on the ground and nobody is shouting or get somebody, get help or whatever. So I thought that was a little odd.
And
But
then they, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, just the birth itself. We never saw, that first cry and her, having the baby, giving the baby to her and Lee for the first time. I don't know. I thought there would be more emotional highs.
A lot of highlights of what a birth would, a family would take, part of in a birth. It just wasn't there.
Yeah.
So there is that gap where there is nothing, and then all of a sudden there is. But people were running around almost like a Laurel and Hardy kind of thing, running by and grabbing this one and grabbing that one. And Nathan, make a path, people, and then they're all standing next to her, but they weren't really doing any. I don't know. I I love when calls the heart. I could not stand that scene. I thought we had all these good actors and they all overacted. Like it was not, I couldn't focus on what it was supposed to be happening because I'm like, oh my God, it was cringy to me, that part. Too much overacting on that part. Like in that, trying to get her into the car and drive to the house, like that whole scene and everybody running around. And then the three girls go run in the cafe and start chopping up vegetables. You're like, Chris says, why? And I said, I guess they're making dinner.
I don't get I understand Minnie's story and all that good stuff, but the candles, I was like, okay, is Rosemary going to go to the window and see all the candles and go, oh, the baby is here? I just didn't get it.
I know. Wait a minute. People's things are moving around. Wait a minute, not that one. Here's what she said. Everyone was standing around. If it was today, everyone would have had their phones out and recording it.
Still not doing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right, though.
I cannot believe that the Coulters do not have names for a girl or boy for a girl. Patricia, Elizabeth Coulter. No.
They've already got a Patrick to.
Yeah, I really think it's
like
Hope.
Brother.
I always said it was going to be Hope. I always thought it was going to be Hope. And then way they were saying she's a miracle, we almost given up hope. I don't know. But there was something funny on social media where someone was calling her Blanky.
Blank, BLANK, and then
with the
Elizabeth with E.
Blank E. Like, oh my God, that's great. And then someone said, come on, it's Eliza Beth. For like Elizabeth. I was like, oh, that's cute too. But I really think it's going to be Hope Elizabeth. Yeah. Now, this is good, Lily, and I agree. I loved how Lee stayed with her. That was not normally done, and we talked about that. Just the FYI, I said you are correct, but I do know of another famous man in history, because, Lee Coulter's famous in history for us, who was present at most of his wife's births, and that is King George III, the King of England, who was most of the births of his wife. I think he wanted to be a doctor once upon a time, but anyway, it's a rare thing. You are correct. And as for the name, they were a hot mess. Did you notice that? I love that. I love that Lee was just as much as a hot mess as Rosemary. Like,
I think most dads are like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, I made a brisket. You think it was too spicy? Yes, it was too spicy. What about this? You hurt your toe. You hurt your foot. It's so little. It's like, like they were a mess.
But yet they weren't worrying.
He became her, Yeah. Yeah. I loved it. Okay, what do we got? What do we got over here? I have a question for everyone too. Poor Ned wanted to do something, but they wouldn't let him. I know. And then they were all standing there breathing. That was kind of funny. I wish they played more on that. That I would have loved. Emily says, I thought it was well done for the most part. I did think the gawking was too, it was too when she went into labor, like give her space and get out of the road. Okay. And it's true. Molly murdered the carrots.
The carrot was Bill.
Yeah, she said they were going for comedy, but it was really cringy. It was. And I'm sorry. That's okay. Who was the director? Because they might be listening. We're sorry.
I think it was Peter.
I know. I'm sorry. It just, I don't know. It just wasn't what I want. Well, whatever. Ned was funny trying to open all the car doors, but the ladies and Lucas beat him to it. Now, here's the thing. I didn't see that. I had to watch it 42 times to see it. I think they could have directed it differently where we would have seen it like better, right?
Mhm.
No?
It looked like they hadn't rehearsed as to what people were supposed to be doing. Maybe that's what they wanted, that because when you're out in an environment like that, and with people all around, it ends up being a chaotic mess.
I think they were going for that chaotic kind of craziness of, when on Dick Van Dyke when Laura had her baby, and Lucy when Lucy had her baby, and Fred and Ethel and Ricky were all going crazy. I think that's what they were going for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Avis, okay. And Jan's saying the girls want to know what what they could do. And she said, let's go start cooking for them. I get it. It was funny. Lynn is saying, I love seeing Rosemary be vulnerable. And she was.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. And she did look a little worn out. I think as an actress, she was probably worn out with those scenes.
And right? I think it was totally realistic. She did labor realistically. Don't get me wrong. I think she did great.
She did.
And then meeting Lee, the minute she heard that name, she goes, that's what I need. Get me Lee. Yeah. I need Lee. Yeah. And he came barreling in and that was great. So I have no fault with the actual labor scenes.
Yeah, that was. And the actress or actresses that are playing their baby, that baby is gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Unless it was some very much precious rubbery doll that they make, but that baby's gorgeous. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, she's a beauty.
And she looks like she could be their child.
She does. Uh-huh. She does. Victoria saying, I thought during Rosemary's labor, there would have been really tender moments between her and Lee to the point of tears. They were so happy, but it didn't happen. Well, again, you're usually not there.
Yeah. Lee wasn't there long enough really for them to get into that because she was in a hard labor then.
By hard labor, you're not feeling tender. I don't think.
No, you're not.
You're not just kind of like, get it out of me.
Yeah.
Right. She was like, remember when poor Elizabeth said, oh, we're getting closer. And she like looked at her.
I'll take a break. You take her hand for a minute.
Yeah. Now, but instead they gave really cool moments to building that relationship between Lee and Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about, I've seen all these different things about, Rose, and he's watching and he's looking, right? We commented on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was about to run out the door, Lee, anyway, couldn't stay. It's been over 11 hours. And then Elizabeth came for him anyway. So they had other opportunities within that, which I loved.
I'm really happy they're expanding Lucas's male friendship circle.
Yeah. Yes. I like seeing that. Emily says, I want to know why May was not with Faith tending to Rosemary. She's the pharmacist and the other person with medical training. And so was Molly for the longest time. Now the two of them are always in the kitchen or wherever else. I don't know.
I can see Rosemary not wanting a whole crowd of people in that room. She had Faith and she had Elizabeth. And I think that was what she wanted or what she needed at that time.
Sometimes people don't do well. I know she likes audiences, not when she's like in that situation. Sometimes don't. This is interesting. Isn't there already a Rosalie? There is. That won't be the name. Yes, there is something very close to it. So I doubt that'll be the name. I feel like they don't know what to do with Molly this season since dropping the Bill storyline. She's just always on the side chopping vegetables or just sitting there. I haven't seen her with Faith as a nurse or her assistant all this time. Yeah.
I'm not sure that we've seen the last of Molly having a out front storyline.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely got something brewing with the new girl, who I love, by the way. I've seen her in a lot of Lifetime movies. Stephanie Von Fetten.
Yeah.
She's very good.
We're going to show her off in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see if she actually puts a move on Bill, or if it looks like she and Bill are getting close. We all know Molly can be pretty bold if she thinks that someone is going after Bill. So she may be just keeping her peace, biding her time for now. But if it looks like Bill's going to have a relationship with, I can't think of her character.
Madeleine.
Yeah, if it looks like he's going to have a relationship with her, we may see Molly come back to the forefront.
So we're going to segue into her. Go ahead.
I was going to say that most of the interactions or the conversations between Bill and Madeleine have been in Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
And Molly doesn't go in there.
Right. She hasn't really seen it. She saw her approach him in the diner, and she was they did get that camera in so you could see her in the background watching. So I just wish that we know that they're on good terms, because she said funny things where she could see from her kitchen window, she could see his bathing suit on the line. I know I bring this up every time, but I'm just so excited that we know where Bill lives. And but I just wish they had dressed it a little bit more. Like, there's these mysteries with these couples. What happened with Nathan and Faith, we still don't know. And what happened with Molly and Bill, that's a little bit of a mystery, but I hope I
think it's all going to come out. I think we just have to, they're counting on us to be patient, but I think we're going to learn the answers to these questions.
Maybe when whatchamacallit, Rosalie comes on the show, it'll bring Molly's story out a little bit more then too.
Okay. Now let's talk about Madeleine St. John rather. What do we all think out here? Like, what do we think her mystery truly is? I want you to put that in the chat box, and we'll light it up. But what do you girls think? What do you think's her mystery? What do you think she's really after?
I have no idea, but I don't think it really matters, because by the end of the season, she will have totally regretted whatever it was she came to town for, and totally denied it, disavowed it, changed for the good, and that'll be that.
I think she's kind of already changing a little bit.
Yeah, because her phone conversations.
And if you notice that she's just, I think it's really making an impression on her how they're reaching out to her son, and how he is, kind of becoming a part of the fabric of the town.
Yeah. Well, I'm anxious to see his reaction with going to school, and because he made fun of it before.
I think that was his coping mechanism. I think it's very much like what I imagine Lucas was like when he was a little boy, because he just didn't have his parents around. He felt kind of isolated. And I'm seeing some of that with the little boy. Like, the kids reach at Toby and Cooper reaching out to him. And he's like, "Oh, do you know how to play basketball?" "Of course I do." "Yeah, because I just learned yesterday, but yeah." And then he hit the basket, and they were so impressed. I could see some real friendships developing there.
Yeah.
And I think that will affect Madeleine's attitude toward whatever her mission is. And, I can see her trying to figure out how to get out of it or.
I definitely think it has to do with the land and because she even went out to look at it under the guise of like, I'm going to build something maybe, and he says to her, "You can't have this land because it's from the town." Well, that's what Mike said. And she's like, everybody has a price, and she's trying to woo, Bill. And I love when Mike says that she has eyes for you. And he's like, eyes for, how he makes his faces. I wanted to, Stephanie is striking. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to get rid of that one.
She happened to, while you're doing that, she did a Lifetime movie that was supposed to be part one, and they were going to do the second movie, and they never did the second movie. And I'm really mad about that, because it was a really good made-for-TV movie.
She has many, many, many titles. I mean, many titles. And I from what I'm looking at, it looks like Stephanie also does like modeling too, like for brands, if you're looking at her Instagram account. But this is her long, beautiful hair. I'm not sure if her hair, I'm looking in her Instagram account, her hair is long now, but I feel like she's wearing a wig. You think she's wearing a wig?
They love wigs on When Calls the Heart, so who knows?
Yes. This is so once we, start watching her and want to know more about her and want to see more of her shows and movies. This is something I think it was on the CBC. And was it called Cracked? It's from 2013. It was a series that I think we can stream and we can catch her on. Plus, I love this actor. He's a good actor.
Who is that?
I can't think of his name, but he's good. He could be funny and he plays serious, very handsome, and I cannot think of what his name. He's on Hallmark. He's a Hallmark guy too.
Who is it?
Pardon me?
Who is it?
And this is an oldie, and I didn't realize that was her. I forgot Far From Home. I think it's he's an alien, right? I remember when this is the guy who was on that show for the longest time. It's a US show about the father was a preacher and they had all the kids, and I can't remember the title of it. Anyway, he made a movie and she was in it. This one's a while back. So I just picked up random things. You can find her, you can go look up her profile.
She's got the short blonde hair there.
There, I know. So I'm wondering, because that's a gorgeous wig on her, if that's a wig. Like that. I mean, I was like,
well, it was also filmed a year ago.
Yes, that's why. So it could have grown, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. She, I could hit Cracked for us right now. And let's see who he is.
David Sutcliffe.
What is it?
David Sutcliffe or Sutcliffe.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
Sutcliffe.
Yes. He's a cutie patootie. Many other things too, other series, a lot of movies. Some things I didn't show because just a little, not that there's anything wrong with it, but for our viewers, we're very much rated G, sometimes a little more, what is that, PG-ish, a little tiny bit when we're on here. But she had some really beautiful, like athletically looking attire on. Like you really showed off her gorgeous body. And I was like, okay. So she has an interesting Instagram account too. She's fun. She's dancing and jumping around. Wanted to show you this was interesting and tell me what you all think of this.
Maybe they know.
Yes. And then we're going to also look at your theories about her storyline because I'm so excited to learn it. So this is her name now. This is what she goes by, right, Kathy?
Mm-hmm.
You see it? But look at the bottom, Kathy.
Yeah, I've read that. When I looked her up when I started liking her movies, but yeah.
Well, a baroness, Christina. I wonder where that comes from because she was she's from Canada, and but she's of German descent. I wonder where the baroness comes from. What does that mean? I know what a baroness is, but how did she gain that title? I wonder.
I don't know. I'm Googling as we speak.
I don't know that a baroness gets it. I thought a baron got it, but a baroness gets it. This is my Bridgerton side coming out. But the baroness part is because you're married, right? Or then are you just a lady?
Or it could be they just named her that.
Oh, that's a big long name though.
Yeah.
Or is that a last name?
Oh, wait. Her father is a German baron.
Okay, so I said parents.
You got it. She knew it. Okay, we'll come back to the last slide here. We'll remove that. We'll come back to the last slide for our game. All right, so before we move on, there's some people I want them to highlight them and we get into your theories. Gloria is saying, I thought the scene in the street was hysterical. The levity was wonderful. Ned Yost trying to help and being cut off at every turn. They were all trying to help. It was a community thing. I love that you saw that. I did not see it. I did not. And I pay attention to stuff. I didn't see it the first, second, and third. I didn't catch on to the third. And it's because I didn't feel like it was enough. I was too focused on what was happening right then with Rosemary and looking at everything with her. And I don't know. I felt like it could have been, I don't know, maybe directed a different way, but that's just my opinion. Okay. Lucas even called out to Lee when he said he was going next door because he couldn't take not doing anything. Yes. At the same time, Elizabeth came in. That's what we were saying. I know. I love that. Yes, Julie, I know you mentioned this, but sometimes we don't highlight everything. It's not on purpose. If you could see everything that's coming, it's hard to do. The community joining in with lighted candles was so touching. I was in tears.
I'm
I
wondering if I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead because I know
I
what
was
you're
going to say, I'm wondering if someone on the crew or in the production staff or something owns some kind of stock in candles. Because every season, I think, we've had a scene with candles everywhere. And, you remember they did it in the library and they did it on the bridge. It's just incredible to me that there is, especially after Lucas's saloon went up in flames, that they still hang out with the candles.
Well, even years ago when Jack and Elizabeth were engaged, the whole field was filled with candles.
I just think that's funny.
Too. There was a church fire. There's been many fires. So I know, I get it. Oh God, that's funny. That's I was just going to say that it was touching. It was nice. I loved how each of the whoever made the candles, how they each had something painted differently on there. And I'm like, we all want one of them, so we'd like to buy them. So I know that When Calls the Heart is giving away things and they put stuff up and it's like a contest. I want some of those candles with their holder, something that we can buy. I mean, we can win. So whoever's out there listening to me, or I'm going to call up Taylor. I'm going to write to Taylor and tell Taylor Alberts to put that on some of the things that we can win.
And each one of them was a different flower.
Yes, they were gorgeous. Ned needs to stick to his inventions. Oh, that's so
because he didn't invent the forceps.
All
right, we're moving on. Oh my God.
Oh no.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I also appreciate Faith as a doctor. She was very comforting and she gives off soothing vibes. She also presents herself as a very knowledgeable and self-confident woman. And they're playing that to the hilt, which I like, which if Nathan's the man for her, which I think it's going to wind up being, they'll play off each other. It'll be cool. I can't wait till that steps up too. Wish I was there with you ladies. I'm almost home. Okay, Christina. All right. All right. The scene when Allie was running to see if the baby was born was hilarious. You just heard her feet beating on the ground and we now to hear it again. I thought the crowd would have been more excited. I don't know. I think they were tired. It was the middle of the night, right? Because Allie was in her pajamas, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, it was 11 hours Rosemary was in labor. So I feel like it was supposed to be like the middle of the night. All right. Emily's saying the thing with May. There during her labor and delivery she is the pharmacist. She could have given some medication or something.
I think she did. At one point, didn't Faith go out to get some kind of medication or something? And I assume she was going to the pharmacy. Was it when she said she had the high blood pressure, or there was a point where she said, yeah, I'm going to go get XYZ. I don't remember what it was.
Okay. All right. So here we go. We're going back to Madeleine's, the theories everyone has. I'm wondering if Madeleine is there at the
behest.
Okay. What I don't know what that word is, and I like to learn new words.
Request, at the urging, at the will of the governor.
I am learning, Kathy and Lillian. Okay. Thank you. I just learned a new vocabulary word, and I will have to look that up and use it. Maybe. What do you think? She's tied in with the guy?
I think she's tied to somebody who has already been on the canvas. And I don't know why I think that or who it might be. I kind of hope it's Wyman because I want to see him back on the canvas. I really love it.
I know. Yes.
I'm hoping it's Wyman because we just saw Mr. Smith and he's kind of left. So I'm thinking it's somebody we've seen before.
Okay, bringing it back like being a surprise. All right, Christine's saying that she even put Gov. Like I just said, she's thinking
Gov love.
I know. Could Madeleine be associated with the governor? We're all saying that. Maybe, but I don't know. I feel like maybe even the governor is associated with somebody else. They all got their hands in something, right?
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
it could be somebody who wants to exploit Hope Springs for their own purposes, and so they're kind of trying to get in the ground floor.
Right.
Well, I wonder who owns the property
Or
there.
the townland.
Maybe,
The Hopes, the Springs. That's not the town.
I don't know. It was a creek. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. We're wondering who owns it. She's after the land, is what your Carrie was saying too. People are saying she's up to no good. This is interesting. This is controversial, Lynn. Okay. There's that shape that I no longer like. I think she will be Bill's love interest for sure. I think
She hopes that it would be.
and I'm not sure if it's in a little bit of an act. Like, she's a beautiful woman, she's well dressed, and you don't think it's an act?
No way, Jose. She may be starting out thinking, she may think it's an act.
Right, but I was just gonna say she's
But-
in, right?
Yeah, so she's all in. Absolutely all
She's
in.
not, and he's been so good with her son, so now she's all in.
Yeah.
But Bill's like clueless. Like,
He always is.
I know when Hickam says to him, she's got eyes for you, like we had said earlier, and he's like, what? Like, he is a clueless man when it comes to stuff. How can he be the inspector and he's clueless?
Well, because he's Bill.
He's Bill. Marry me, Bill. Okay. All right. A lot of people were saying this stuff with the governor. Now, I don't want to forget because it's way up here, but there's some stuff that they're talking about, Lucas, and I want to come back to that. Emily said something and Rona, but we'll get to that in a minute. I wanted to just kind of stick with what we had. Land, I think she's interested in some type of land grab. That's what Julie's saying. I agree.
Or whoever she's working with or for is interested in a land grab.
Yes.
I think she may be in it for whatever someone's paying her.
Yes.
She's going to be a converted Hope Valley-ite before you know it, before the end of the season.
Do you think she's going to stay? Is she a new character?
I think she could be, because they've spent some time and energy in kind of splitting out the whole Bill and Molly storyline. There had to be a reason for that. They could have just kept going with, Molly kind of chasing after Bill and Bill kind of not running that hard away from her, but they stopped that. And I think it may be because of this.
So that's an interesting thing I brought up. I was talking to Chris and I said, I kind of get annoyed by this storyline because it's taking up a big amount of time, where I feel like I would have liked to have seen more things with the characters that are already established, more of a May storyline, more of a Molly storyline, and not have to wait so long. Like, every episode has been about this woman and Bill since she arrived. I don't know, and it annoys me a little bit.
I tend to feel that way too, except I don't know why I'm feeling so generous lately. I'm feeling like
You just got back from vacation. You're a little euphoric.
oh no, that was working. I feel like
It's true, you were working.
we're being given threads,
Okay.
various threads,
Mhm.
and we're just going to keep pulling them, or they're going to keep pulling those threads during the season, and we're going to find out how it all fits together. And I think it does all fit together. We're going
They're
to find out.
throwing all this stuff at us.
Mhm.
Yes, but there's a method to the madness, I guess, is what I would say.
Yes, but I'm just missing a storyline with May, and I'm missing a storyline with Molly. It's just me personally. I like their characters. It's bothering me.
I don't know what or why they're going to do with those characters. I mean, you can't. There's only so many people you can bring on the campus on the canvas.
Yes.
And now they've got. Because he doesn't have a name, I'm just going to call him Jesse 2.0.
He does. His name's Harry. Harry.
Oh, the character's name is Harry.
Yeah.
I thought we didn't know I thought it was the other way around, that we didn't know that was the actor's name and we didn't know the character's name.
We didn't know the character's name. We looked him up because he was posted in the database, and his character's name is Harry Henning.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, they're throwing characters in, and then they're having regular characters who've been introduced already with no storyline. So I do think either they're going to have to get rid of somebody, or they're going to have to start pulling those threads together, knitting them together, and
Yeah.
creating the storyline.
Well, do you remember Christopher came and he was on for a while, as was the
Rachel.
niece Rachel, and they were on for quite a few episodes, and then they didn't get to stay. So maybe she won't get to stay. I
She
don't
may
know.
not. Maybe it'll, be Bill can't. He has a problem with forgiveness. He forgiving the women in his life. He has a problem with that. So he may say, nah, keep moving. Except for the fact that they're incorporating her son into the fabric of the town.
I
That,
know.
that gives me pause.
They're going to leave him behind.
No,
Kids get left behind.
people need to quit abandoning their children in Hope Valley, really.
Well, they just know that somebody will pick them up and take care of them.
I know. Somehow they magically wind up or miraculously wind up at school and then in the town.
Okay, speaking of, let's not match up these kids.
Okay.
Heard of that? Did anyone else look at that baby and go, mm-hmm, in about 17, 18 years, her and little Jack?
I did. I know. The boy next door, the girl next door.
They're destined for each other.
Oh, but
So in season 28, I guess, we can look forward to the, whatever they name her, Elizabeth and little Jack.
Oh my gosh. Kathy is saying she seems like a nice woman, meaning Madeleine, deep down, but is somehow under someone else's thumb for something evil. Her son, I don't believe, is really her son. He stumbled over calling. Oh my God, I was wondering about that. Mrs. St. James' mother.
Huh.
So what's going to happen is he really is going to get to stay in Hope Valley with Bill. Bill, and it's funny because that crossed my mind, Kathy, but then he calls her mom and it was natural, I thought, but he's a little grumpy and he wants to go home she said her husband was mean and he died, right? I don't know. This is a big mystery for us. Okay. Let's see. Madeleine seems to be on some type of forced, revenge and being directed by someone. I agree.
Who is it aimed at? Is it aimed at the whole town or a specific person?
Hi, Victoria Greenway. Are you new to our channel here?
Love that name.
I know. It's cool. Pretty name. Aaron Krako said that the last 2 episodes would be jaw dropping. I hope we don't have to wait too long. Well, yeah. Well, oh, you want more jaw dropping stuff? Oh, I can't wait. Okay,
Victoria Greenway. I got to say that sounds like a novelist's name. So if you've ever thought about being an author, don't change your name because that's it.
Yeah, and this is funny. Annie's saying something. Marilyn is a widow. Okay, Madeleine.
As far as we know.
Right, is a widow and likely connected to the governor. Did you notice that Jamie stopped himself from saying, I mostly traveled with my and then put mother? No, but that's good.
Maybe he was going to say parents. And since his father isn't
dead,
around.
that's what I thought. He said mother.
Or they may be lying about his father being dead. So he had stopped himself from saying parents.
Yeah. I think Madeleine is obligated to someone in power. Yes.
Maybe her husband isn't dead and her husband is the governor.
Yes. I don't know.
Because back then they wouldn't have had all the popularity and stuff that you see the governor's wife and the pictures and everything else. I don't know.
But she says she's from Philadelphia. I wonder why they picked Philadelphia. Like, why that? It's right near me. It's like a hop and a skip. Like, hey, Philly.
Yeah, I got to drive around.
And that's actually where Karen Krako was raised. Okay. Bill is really guarded about the town and doesn't reveal anything about the town. Madeleine can't break through. I know. Different. I think she's going to be coerced by either the governor or a new character. Yeah. Like new character, Bernhardt Montague. Yes, we're trying
to figure that out.
I remember the name. Yeah. It was driving me crazy. Chris and I were going through that. That's an interesting character that I'm going to be looking into. Brian Shively, can you be my assistant? I want you to be my assistant.
Write that name down.
I'm gonna write that down. I'll find it. Montague.
If
I won't
that,
forget it. It's
if
Romeo.
that isn't a villain's name, I've never heard one. You can almost picture him twirling his mustache.
The act.
Montague.
Sarah, yes.
Montague.
Sarah's saying Seventh Heaven. Thank you.
That
I
was
couldn't
the
think of
preacher
it.
with all the kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the oldest son. He went off to become a doctor. That actor is in the movie with Stephanie. I think.
Oh my gosh, that's Barry.
Yes, I love him.
I love him. Yeah.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he plays an alien, right, in that movie.
I don't know, but I think I'm going to watch the movie now because I'm a big fan of his.
He's a cutie patoot toot toot.
That has nothing to do with it. I admire his talent.
Okay, admire his talent. Okay, Barry Watson. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Rona. And I had a couple things back up here. We wanted to go back up before we move on to something different, and then we're going to do our game and then continue. Emily says, I'm curious about Lucas's statement about insomnia to Nathan and Bill at the candlelight vigil. I feel like we are missing some context.
I didn't think it would have been that late because it was still daylight and stuff when she went into labor on the street. 11 hours later would put it maybe midnight or something.
Well,
I don't know.
You think it was 12 because it would have then been 12 at night. I thought it was more like a little more in the day and more like
mid-afternoon. And
yeah, and then it was like, yeah.
Could have been. I don't know.
Interesting. We do know that there's something big coming up with Lucas in the next episode too. And over here, love that Lucas brought the candle and let everyone know to come with their candles. Again, I think they need to put those candles up that we can win them. And I did too. He was the first one to start it, go put it out there and get them all together, which is nice because remember there was once upon a time when he first came, he didn't feel like he was part of the community. It was hard for him to get and now he is. He's
feel
a big
that
part.
He was included.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's just show some fire. Lucas will be there. You remember those lanterns he sent up there?
All the candles. I know. Oh gosh, dear Lord. Okay, he's a firebug. All right, now let's talk about the scene with Elizabeth and little Jack. I'm reading it. We're silent.
I mean, it was a cute scene. I mean, I thought it was very natural. The questions he asked, and she answered naturally. I mean, for his age, she gave age-appropriate responses to him.
And you, at that age, you're not supposed to give anything more than what they are asking, and that's exactly what she did.
Yes.
There's only so much he can grasp at that age. So many concepts, you know?
So one of the things I loved about it, and you pointed it out, Chris, is how the actor is like doing so well. Like with his all his lines. He's got more lines.
He's got a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, but they're doing different cuts. So he's not doing it straight through. You could tell where they were cutting, and then they had to splice together different takes of him doing his dialogue. It was fabulous. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying he didn't just smoothly, and you wouldn't expect him to at that age.
No.
Right.
But what he does do, he's showing the emotion, and he's good at what he does.
I liked his expression when Rosemary and Lee, or actually I think it was Rosemary, said explaining or saying how she felt about the new ambiance out there. It was all French style and everything. And then
the little boy,
little Jack's sitting there going, oh, he has these expressions
like look on his face.
Like, oh my God, type of an expression.
He knows how to play Lucas too.
Well, I know, but the thing is, everybody has really good expressions this year.
Yeah.
You were pointing that out. I thought that I loved it too.
The expressions are telling the story.
This is cute. The smile that Jack flashed when he told him that he looked like his daddy. When she told him that, so hard it was, and he did that cute little look with that big hat. And Brian's agreeing. Brian's saying that it was heart-rendering and beautifully performed by both of them. It was cute. They did a good job together. I thought LJ would have asked Lucas a little bit more questions about his dad based on the sneak peeks. It wasn't really the sneak peeks. It was what Hallmark wrote. And I blasted them a little bit the other day on a couple of things. And it is that who are they? I remember John Tinker saying, I love Hallmark, thank you. But some of the stuff that they put out there is just like stirs the pot up. They're so
Yeah.
busy saying ridiculous things. And then they made it sound like Lucas was going to have this big conversation with with little Jack. And I'm thinking, okay, why would he and not the mom, like Elizabeth?
And they made it look like there was something to the conversation with
Yes.
Elizabeth and Nathan. It was just a simple conversation.
Yeah.
I could totally see why she went to Nathan to talk about it, because he's a
Sure.
single father.
And
It was nothing. You're right. They were just trying to stir the pot, and I kind of resented it.
And they did the same thing with, so Hallmark, if you hear me, you need to do a better job with that. They did the same thing with like who was having that conversation about little Jack's, father.
Yeah.
And they made it sound like it was going to be Lucas instead of it being Elizabeth. Grammy Rose, hello. I do think it was good, but sometimes I think they add all the Jack stuff in for his fans. I really do think realistically little Jack would ask Lucas if he can call him daddy.
I'm still expecting that.
Yeah.
That might be after the wedding
Yes.
time, after they're married.
Yeah.
Now that would be a Hallmark moment.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Rona's saying Hyland looks so much like Daniel when he smiled with the Mountie hat on. I think maybe it had to do with like the nose, like in that little area, like eyes in the nose area, which is funny how they're able to do that. Avis, talking about the shape you don't like, Roxanne, the scene with Elizabeth. What? Talking about the shape you don't like, Roxanne. The scene with Elizabeth and Nathan on the porch has really fueled the TN to say how in love they are with each other and should be together. Maybe. I mean, I didn't even see any of that out there because I'm not going to look, but whatever. I really do think though that was an appropriate scene. Of course she would.
You're saying you think it was an appropriate scene.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It
I didn't want anyone to misunderstand you and think you were saying inappropriate.
Right. I think it was appropriate because she could go to many people because almost every woman in there was a single mother because they lost the husbands and raised the kids. She could have gone to Molly. She could have gone to Florence, all them. But she has a connection with Nathan because it's because of his daughter being in her classroom. Yes.
The other thing that I hope everyone's getting is, for season 9, you thought, okay, well, Nathan's over Elizabeth and he's moved on, but he was kind of snarky with her through a good deal of the season.
That's how they wrote it.
This scene yesterday showed me, or it appears to me from that scene, that they have really moved on to just being friends. I didn't see a hint of anything else. She was asking questions. He was answering them as a friend. I saw no undercurrents of anything. All I saw was two friends talking together, feeling comfortable, not feeling guilty or subtext or any of that stuff, which I think is great. I was hoping they'd reach this point.
Well, it's usually Nathan asking the questions and making comments, about Allie. This time it was the other way around.
Which was nice.
Yep.
Which was good. And because he has the experience. I liked it. I thought it was a good thing. I think we'll see more of it. And I really think they did it because they're, pushing that storyline more with, Nathan moving on with someone else, whoever that may be, which I think at this moment it is Faith, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Him just moving on with his life. You know what I mean? And doing moving on and doing what he needs to do. That's what she's saying. I appreciated the scene. That's what Gloria is saying. I was entertained listening to Elizabeth's explanation of about heaven. Yeah. You wouldn't believe all the comments on 2 sites today. Avis, I don't even want to hear. That wasn't to you, Avis. I meant, I love you, Avis. That's to the comments. You know what? You want to know, I even hate mentioning like this because that's what people want. I don't care. So you can just go into your other corner of the world and say cuckoo stuff. We got to move on with that nonsense. I'm not giving them any time. Yeah. And you're right. Lucas said just enough to Jack. That's true. All right, what do we got here? Here's Emily. I have to be honest. The porch scene with Nathan and Elizabeth starked my TN hard again. Emily, we just got done saying this. I always wanted them to give each other advice on single parenthood. I so wish it was them together. Sigh. Okay. I don't, never did. Here's a funny story I was saying the other day, and maybe I shared it with all of you. I, from the get-go, love When Calls the Heart, right? Love Jack and Elizabeth. They finally get married. And I'm like, he's dead. I couldn't even watch that scene. I recorded it and it took me weeks. I watched that episode, heartbreaks, couldn't take it, had to watch it a few more times. And then I was like, I am done. And I mentioned it to my sister. She's bored. She looks through it. And she's like, oh my God, it's, I said, well, I can't watch it anymore. She goes, yeah, but I think there's an actor on there that you really like. And I said, what do you mean? She said, they're bringing in 2 new guys. Look at the advertisement. So I look at the advertisement. One's a Mountie and one's a saloon owner. And when I said that, I didn't even see who the actors were yet. I said, that's weird. What? They're going to make her go with the Mountie? That's stupid. I said, what? Every time there's a Mountie, that's all she can have is a Mountie. Jack's story's done. That doesn't make sense to me. And then Chris McNally walked out, and I was like, I got to watch all over again. I love Chris McNally. Oh my God. He's the saloon owner. I hope they make him, not sassy.
You're doing that thing you told me to remind you not to do.
Okay, I'm doing it because I'm excited. I'm sorry. All right, I'm done. Anyway, I was excited. But when everybody thought that it would be because he's a Mountie, I thought that was weird. Just because he's a Mountie, that's who she has to like. I don't know. I thought that was weird. That's just weird.
They weren't going to have another Mountie story.
No, they just from the get-go. Anyway, we've been there, done that. Okay. And Elizabeth, that now she has Lucas. I wish Nathan had told Elizabeth that now she has Lucas.
He knows. It wasn't. I don't think it's. But they've moved up. They've elevated from that. He knows she has Lucas.
Yeah. I agree. Nathan and Elizabeth are friends, almost like brother and sister, which is what I saw.
Which is what she wants. And what he came to want, I think he knows.
You're right. All the other ladies had their husbands with them for some of the early years of their children's lives, and the children knew what had happened to their dad. You are correct. And the story, and hers is unique because he never had a dad, but you know who else is unique? Is Allie's unique. She had her mother. She never had her father. Then she has her uncle, who's now like her dad. So they would go to each other. What were you going to say?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah. You're right, Christine. She didn't go to him. He just happened to walk by her, him being a single parent with him. Yeah, it's true.
And she even asked, didn't she ask, can I ask you a question or something like that?
Yeah. I really didn't want Aunt Elizabeth to be with another Mountie again either. You know why? Because she already had her Mountie, and that was
the best.
I mean,
the best.
That's it. Yeah. What's this?
He was the season.
You don't think it will be Faith for Nathan? I actually think it will be Fiona at the end. It's just a feeling.
Fiona wasn't even in it last night.
I know, but let me just say, okay? That's who I said it should be all along. And if that's what happens, I'm okay with it. I really think it's going to be Faith, but if that's what happens, I'm okay with it. Valerie's saying, hi, Valerie. You're a new name for us. Or no, maybe you're not. I agree. No Mountie could replace Jack with Elizabeth in our eyes, so why bother? Lucas and Elizabeth have great chemistry. Yeah.
Yep.
Are we missing anything that we want to talk about? I have one little thing that I love that I want to talk about, but you girls have anything before we do our little game that we play?
Did you cover all of it?
I did, but there's one thing.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite scene? All of you, any of you can put this in or share it. Is there something that's your favorite that you like out of all that because it was a lot to take in? Who has a favorite? Please share with us if you want. But do either of you have something that's a favorite?
I love the conversation on the swing or on what were they sitting on, Lucas and Elizabeth?
That's that swing, and it's over near the.
I like that. It was just a sweet moment.
That's the swing that Jesse helped Joseph build, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost every episode, it's in a
Yes.
different place around
And
Oak Valley.
yes, and there's always really good conversations. That's the
Mhm.
beautiful swing where that moment was between Allie and Nathan, and she calls him Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always something like really special on the swing.
Touching.
Yes, and Janice is agreeing with you. And Cindy says, "Who's the MVP?" Okay,
That little baby.
The baby.
Aw, the baby for you.
Mhm.
Catherine likes the no baby name. The final
The
scene.
no-name baby.
What is it?
The no-name baby.
The no name
Mhm.
baby. That's funny.
I think my favorite scene was when they told Elizabeth what they were going to name her.
Yeah.
I mean, have her
I
be
cried.
the
We all
they said,
cried.
yeah,
She was surprised.
she was going to be the godmother, I think,
Mhm.
and her middle name and stuff like that.
So
So
who do you guys think is going to be the godfather?
do you think Lucas?
No. How about Hickam? They're pretty close. I don't know.
No.
No way.
I don't know that.
That's a good
We
question.
have dead air time on that. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's a good question. What do you all think? Who do you think is going to be the godfather? That would be pretty cool to find out. I wanted to come back to this because this is leading up to my favorite scene. And all of it was good, but I had a favorite scene because it was done to perfection by three very talented actors. So Gloria says, Henry and Joseph and Bill. I loved when Henry was leaning against the horse because he even kind of was breathing the horse in as he was working on him. It was like he was, and I love when Joseph said to him that feeling of peace you have, you can have it all the time. Okay, my favorite scene is when Bill and Joseph decide that they're going to trick Henry into his penance or his
Yeah.
community service, and they go through this whole thing, and he looks at them and he's like, "You're terrible liars." And they're like all insulted, and he leaves.
Well, when it gets up to leave, he says, "I'm going to do it anyway." So he's going to build something. What's he going to build?
I know. Maybe he'll help with the building that Lucas is building Elizabeth a house that was in the previews. I don't know. That was my favorite scene because those three guys, it was like believable to me. I feel like I was sitting in the booth next to them, really watching it happen. The last scene with Elizabeth and Lucas is my favorite. Somebody was saying that okay, it was. I agree. And it was the awkward dialogue. And you have a thing that you were saying about that, remember? Where, love and love is this and love,
Yeah, well, when what season was that? 8 or 9? When Lucas broke up with Elizabeth, he, came on her step or her stoop and was saying, love is and blah, 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 blah. And now all you ever hear is love is this, love is that, and different various scenes. And it was brought up again last night.
Yeah. And it was weird. It was a little bit awkward in what she was saying. I don't know. It was trying to be very poetic. What did you think? You were okay with it?
I was okay with it.
All right. Okay.
Love lasts forever. Once you love somebody, you always love them. And Lucas was fine with that because he's the most understanding man in Hope Valley and possibly the world. And he knew that she loved him, so he's included in that. She's always going to love him. So
I know when and the one part that I loved is when she was describing that kind of love. He goes, "That's how I love you," right?
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh my god!"
Mhm.
All right, Deb says, "Meet your goddaughter," and her middle name is Elizabeth. It was a great line. It was such a great line.
A very tearful
Yes,
line.
I know. Rona likes when he was playing
I don't know
marbles.
why Elizabeth was surprised though.
I think she was emotional. I don't know. You know who the godparents are of Jack, right? Little Jack.
Bill and Abigail.
Julie.
Is it
Right.
Julie? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Bill and Julie.
But the guardians are Elizabeth and Rosemary and Lee. They're the guardians.
Yeah.
I remember when she said that to them, they cried because because Rosemary was like, am I up to this, to being a mother, Yeah. And they're calling Uncle Lee and Aunt Rosemary now. I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah. The only place I tested
Teared up, I think.
okay, was between Lucas and little Jack. I know.
That was cute.
I know.
And they're playing marbles.
All right. Emily loved Allie running up to Nathan and hooked arms with him to ask him about Rosemary. She was such a sweetheart. It was funny. And she's in her pajamas and you can hear her feet.
Well, she just lives a couple doors down.
I know, I love that.
All that noise out there. She was.
You guys didn't call me.
Yes. Like it was in the middle of the night. Where's everybody? I see light outside. And she comes running up. I have a question. MVP you said was the baby?
Yeah.
And what you said earlier, it was who for you?
I don't remember.
I think you said Rosemary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
And I was trying to think who I thought the MVP was. And because it's of all the episodes, I would have to go with Rosemary. I thought Pascal did a really good job. I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did. She was really good. It kind of made me appreciate even more though. Pascal has children. She's given birth. And Erin didn't have any children. And she did really well when she did her whole.
She's a good actress to begin with.
I know. She's excellent. Okay. They're saying Kathy says she thinks that Lucas will be the godfather. Joseph and Minnie would be guardians. Thanks, Roxanne. I also came back to watch One Calls Her because of Chris joining the cast. Another Mountie story would not be interesting. Okay. Yes, Henry saying that they were terrible liars when Lee came and said, meet your goddaughter. They're talking about all their favorite things. Henry touching Lucas's heart in the previous episode. That was beautiful. Okay. All right. Can control go down. All right. So let's pick a time frame because I have something that's a little different. I'll show you again because we've been on for over an hour here. Yak and Yicken.
Can I have 30 seconds before you?
Absolutely. Go right ahead. No, you can't, Kathy.
Can you can you take yours down? I just want people to be able to see what I'm gonna show. I just want to show them.
Go ahead.
These wonderful cookies.
Oh my God, look at
You
that.
recognize that scene and who that is.
Right.
And that was like from early on.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I saw
Isn't that
that.
beautiful?
Very detailed. Looks nice.
Beautiful with Newton.
And this is like kind of in the past now.
Aww. Holding that belly.
And the proposal.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes. And it's on a heart.
Yeah, and I think we all know who that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I may have to just keep that one and not eat it. And this was Elizabeth and Jack, and Elizabeth is a little bit out of the picture, but it was absolutely delicious. These ladies know what they're doing.
Yep. They were on. Lynn's still here, I think. They were on as our guests. I have a cookie too, but I have not ventured out to my mailbox. I've had quite a busy weekend, but I will. I'll get out there. I'll show it next week, and on social media, I'll share everything. So
Cindy said these cookies are amazing. I wish they could ship to New York State. I tell you what, it's worth the road trip. If you have any reason to be in the Midwest, stop by.
yes.
Can I show the martini cookie?
Oh, you can go grab the martini cookie. We had a Chris McNally fan meetup in this area, and we had a party. Rona was there. She's here with us tonight in the comments, and I don't know if Linda was there. Of course, Jan and Kathy are on here tonight too, and Christina was there with us. And one of the things we had made was Chris's famous margarita. So we had a margarita cookie made with our initials put on it by our cookie lady.
Can you bring up, is it Brian? Yeah, Brian at 9:14 p.m.
9:14. Here we go. You could see it. I don't even see 9:14, girl. You see it. Okay, I'm bringing it.
9:14 your time.
I know. No. I know. That's not even Brian. But wait, these cookies are amazing. Yeah, I know. Okay. All right, here you go. Where is your Frank cookie, Kathy?
I don't have a Frank cookie, Brian, but I have my Frank pillow.
Nice.
So there.
At least the pillow doesn't get eaten up.
I love it. Those cookies were
family chat.
Thank you, Rona. And Kathy, here's me. Did you get your cookies yet, Kathy? Yes. First, I would pretend I cared that she got home, and I did. I'm joking. I'm like, did you arrive home safely, Kathy? And she's like, I did. And then I waited. I said, did you eat your cookies? What do they look like? How do they taste? And she's like, delicious. Or
Yes, yes, and delicious.
yes, yes. And lemony. And I'm like, what do you
And
think?
they're really good with tea.
Mm.
I have my cookie and my cup of Earl Grey. I'm good.
Pastor Pillow. Kathy, Mark Humphries is doing a new movie. I know. And
Yes, and his leading lady is one of my favorite actresses from Republic of Doyle. I just can't wait for it to come out.
it's Rose Doyle is with Pastor Frank.
Actually, wait a minute. Actually, Elizabeth's mother.
Yes,
Yeah.
Pastor Frank.
Pastor Frank. Oh,
We got something going on here.
Oh, that's why she hasn't been around.
Mhm.
Lynn's saying that she likes them. Oh, Christina, we said you were there. I hit the wrong person. What is happening with me? Lynn said, why is it not showing? There it is. Lynn saying, I love them with tea too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, Jan won a Chris pillow. It was gorgeous. It was the painting that someone did of Chris with a horse. It was Lucas with this horse, and it was a painting that was been around that we've seen. It's gorgeous, and it's like a photo. And I had the photo made into a pillow, and Jan won it. Yep. Okay. You ready? We are going to do this. Is that okay if we do this?
Mhm.
Okay. So I had posted this on social media. How many times is the word baby, not babies, but baby, said before the first commercial break? So don't put anything in yet. We know how many times it is, but we're going to give you a time right here.
Oh,
okay. So right now it's 18 after wherever you are. So when it says 19 after wherever you are, the first person that has it, we will give them the prize. So whoever won their prize, I forgot who won the prize. It got delivered from last week. They got it today. All right. Okay. So next week looks very interesting. I'm not quite sure if who our guest is. I have some things in the works, but we see that it looks like Elizabeth is going to be very surprised because Lucas wants to build her a house. What do you think those reactions are going to be? Remember, we won't take it until it says 19 after.
I know what my reaction would be if Lucas told me he was building me a house.
Really? Yeah.
I'd love it if he was building me one.
You're all too early. It's not 19 after. So anybody that's answered, you might want to try to answer again because it's only 18 after. So we won't take that. The first person who's when it's okay, we got it. Okay, where are we?
Kathleen Murphy says 15.
All right, what is it? Hold on. Kathy Murphy said, wow, it's going fast. She said 15. It's not 15. Nope. Anybody?
17.
I know. Hold on. Let's see. 19 after. I got to go up. Let's see. Wait a minute. There's Lillian. Deb Johnson. Let's see. All right. 919. Deb Johnson.
Still going up.
What's the answer?
No, but I'm looking for the correct answer.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why.
if you tell me what it is, I can tell you if someone's got it already.
It's 9. It's 9. And I think it's Deb Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Is it Deb Johnson?
Yeah.
919.9.
Yep, Deb Johnston.
All right, Deb Johnston, you are the winner. It was 9. Some people might think it was 10, but Faith said the word babies, right? Yes.
She said it plural.
Plural. I'm going to remove it. Okay.
When Faith was sitting by the bed and she said something about there's something, she looked worried and she said, it was right before she said high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
She was indicating there was something surprising going on.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was going to say it's twins.
Oh.
Oh, geez. Can you imagine Rosemary and Lee with twins?
I know. That
I think Lee would be able to put up with them better than
yes,
Rosemary.
I thought it would have been a great thing. Deb saying yay. I think I was so tired that I duplicated some body content. Oh god, that baby content. That was funny. It's okay. Jan says, I think Elizabeth's not going to be real happy. She loves being next door to Rose, Auntie Rose, and Rosie and Uncle Late. I agree. They like being near each other, but they're not going to fit. Their family's going to expand, and they should build houses next door to each other and allow those two. I know it's a set thing, but allow those two houses now to be able to be switched out easily for Bill, Molly, Nathan. We never get to see inside Nathan and Allie's house anymore because they only have two, and they're always making all those scenes with Elizabeth and Rosemary and Lee. So,
well, actually, I personally, I don't think Elizabeth's going to be too happy about it.
yeah, that's what
because she doesn't like surprises, and what was the other reason I told you? She doesn't like surprises. There were two reasons.
Is it?
It was a big gesture. It was a large gesture.
Yeah, it was one of his grand gestures. Again.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kathy?
I'm wondering how in the heck he's going to build a house, because if you'll remember, back when they were working on the library, the boy can't even do a hammer straight. So the hammer and nail straight. So I don't know how he thinks he's going to build a house.
He's not. Someone else will have to, right?
Remember, he was going to hire somebody that he could get him in there that afternoon.
I think he remembers all the conversations. Excuse me, Cookie. I'm sure he understands he remembers all the conversations about the grand gestures, and he knows everything about her. He forgets nothing. So he remembers that she doesn't like surprises. So I think it's going to happen in a way that he's going to avoid offending her or making her angry.
This is my favorite comment of the night. And Victoria, I think I'm going to send you. Look at Kathy rolling her eyes. I don't have an infectious laugh. That is so kind of you to say, because I laugh like a barracuda hyena kind of thing. No, I know my laugh. My family says that I scare birds from the wires. So no. That's funny. Oh gosh. Oh goodness. All right. Okay. We're good to go. This was a good night. I loved all your interactions. I hope we didn't miss anything big and important.
Yeah, I'm glad I stuck around to be on it, because my technology skills aren't good.
I know. It's so good. All right. We're going to say our good nights. Up. They're all talking about what they would need triplets. Lillian's saying, bah, ha, ha, ha. All right. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Good night.
Good night. We'll do our wave. Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.